All right, we are live. First live stream in ages. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for all the support. Let us know if there's any issues with the audio or video. I'm streaming back in the regular studio today, possibly for the last time. That's it. We'll get into that in just a moment, but welcome back. Hopefully everything's working. I'll just give it a minute for people to start commenting, all that kind of stuff. Hey, we've got Dennis J here already. Welcome, man. Thanks for joining in. First in, we got Simon Dixon, Cowhide Music. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining in, everybody. We've got some news, we've got some updates, we've got some unboxing videos to do. I don't often have an opportunity to unbox two guitars at the same time, and one of which has been a custom guitar. So I can't wait to showcase a little bit of what's going on. Geez, welcome, everybody. We've got plenty of comments already. Dwight, how you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. The Pork Chop, welcome. Thanks for being a channel member as well to Keith. How you doing? Oh, awesome. So I'm going to probably do the unboxing just to let everybody know at about the 20-minute mark. So I know that's a bit of a tease, but we'll go for an hour, 20-minute mark. I'll timestamp it later, and you can skip forward if you're watching the playback. But I got some news. I got some stuff to share with you. It's been a crazy couple of months, but things are finally changing around here. I'm also working on some new stuff that I hope to bring you next year as well. That's going to be a bit of a surprise. But yeah, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, let's do some shout outs here. We got Jamie, how you doing, from LA? Awesome stuff. Doug Ward. We got George from Athens, Greece. Very cool, man. Greece, the home of the best effects pedals on the planet. It is so good. All right, Martian Murray says, must be early down here. It's 10:30 a.m. I was going to go live a little bit earlier, but my voice takes a while to get going in the mornings. I'm like, yeah. I sound like I smoke. I've never tried a cigarette in my life, and I sound like I smoke in the morning. So I figured I'd just, get all the caffeine I could into my system. We got another one ready to rock and roll, and we'll get into some of this stuff I want to share with you as well. But first up, thank you everybody for the support. You know, I always appreciate it. Anyone who's subscribed, watches the live streams, the videos, whatever, subscribers on Patreon and the channel members, everybody, thank you. It's I don't know what to say, but thanks. I do appreciate it. I probably don't say that enough in my regular review videos, but so yeah, we're gonna do two guitar unboxings, one of which looks amazing, and the other one I sort of had made to my specs in a way, and it may be, I don't want to spoil it too much, but it may be a bit of a PRS killer, so we'll see how we go with that. So just to give you a little bit of a heads up from what's going on over here. So the last of the videos coming up in this house and in this studio will be shot this month. I'm actually packing the studio up right before the end of this month because I'm officially moving. It's been a long time coming. This place has been great for a couple of reasons. It's given me enough space to work in this room, and also my other studio that I do sometimes I live stream from as well, but I use that for a different YouTube channel. But yeah, the time has finally come where I can get out of this place. It's cold, always cold in here. I got the heater on. I can't wait to get out of here. So the studio will be changing. And, I always worked with what I had anywhere I've lived. And, I've just been using these posters. I kind of like the posters, but I'm going to try. I got into a image program editor the other day and just sort of like laid out how I could envision a studio looking. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to try and really sort of deck this out. I want to have it so I can go over to one desk, live stream, and then sit in a chair and have it all set up so I don't have to keep moving things around all the time. So that's going to be the plan moving forward. I'm really looking forward to just setting it up the way that I want to set it up. So if all goes to plan, it'll be probably the second week of August where you'll start seeing the videos from the new studio. Now, I will have a few queued up ahead of time, as I always do. But yeah, so there might be videos later in the year that go up in here. It's going to be all over the place. But anyway, it is what it is. Just know the studio will be changing. If you see the thumbnails change, all that kind of stuff, or the background looks different, you'll still see my logo on the thumbnails. All right, welcome everybody. Hey, we got Dr. Rick here. Oh man, Dr. Rick. Man, I was just talking about you today from our buddy Khaled was asking. And everybody wish Dr. Rick well. I'm going to share this with everybody. Unfortunately, my friend Dr. Rick, he took a tumble down some steps. I would like to make that sound a whole lot more adventurous. Actually, he was rock climbing, and he fell and he broke his ankle, and he's got all like Terminator parts put into his foot now. So I hope you're doing well, man. And yeah, rest up, and I hope you're feeling all right. Dr. Rick's actually lent me one of the Positive Grid Spark amplifiers, which I've never tried. So I've got that here at the house. It's over there, I think. So yeah, thanks. I'm gonna get that video done pretty soon. But Dr. Rick, yeah, his username on here is rselp, by the way, RSELP. All right, I got Martian Murray from Texas. Zach says, welcome back. Thanks, man. I always intend to live stream, and it's just like, oh, I've got to get this done, got to get that done. And by the time I finish my videos, I'm usually fried. Like, it takes me all day to put my videos together. They're not like, slapped together kind of things. So I've put the live streams on the back burner as much as I enjoy doing them. But I'm back. So, yeah. John's here. Welcome, man. Craig Flowers says, my voice sucks in the morning too. Yeah, it takes me a while, and if I'm on my own here too, who are you talking to, right? Like, so yeah, it sort of takes that little bit longer. I got some water. Hopefully we're good to go. I usually, I say, oh yeah, I know a doctor. This time the doctor's hurt himself, so it's like, hang on a sec, how does that work? Anyway, I hope you recover fast, mate. It's brutal, and yeah. All right, we got RB here. It says, fellow Southpaw from Tennessee. Very cool. Now, I'm going to spoil something coming up. If all goes well next year, I might actually be in Tennessee for a brief period of time, or maybe a month. We'll see. So that'll be fun. Anyway, we got Kenneth. He just said he just joined the members. Thank you, man. Far out. Kenneth, thanks, man. Let us know where you're watching from as well. I appreciate that. We've got Larry Hashkar from Canada. Awesome stuff. I've only been to Canada once, and I know Dr. Rick's lived there, actually. I went to Vancouver. Actually, I went to Toronto, but I don't think that counts. That was just an airport thing. But Vancouver was great back in 1999. No, was it 1999, 2001? I went there. I think it was the 2001 trip. It was great. I heard it's changed a bit over the last 10 years, but anyway. All right, what time is it there? It is 10:38 a.m. So it's morning time. Usually I like to do these a little later in the day, but I always try to endeavor to mix these up. Chris Conley from Pennsylvania, welcome. Yeah, Craig just says, as long as you didn't break any fingers. I tell you what, if you're a guitar player and you hurt your arm or hand or fingers, whatever, it's brutal. And it's one of the reasons why I stopped playing basketball many years ago, because I was like, if I ever get the ball just smashed on the fingers, and I was probably getting a bit old to play, but yeah, when you can't play guitar, it sucks. And I've just been getting through this like forearm thing that's hung around for like 2 months. I can play guitar again, obviously. I've been shooting videos again, but yeah, that sort of stuff takes forever. And I can only imagine if I sort of like broke a finger, it would be awful. All right. So if anyone has any gear questions, let us know. We'll do the unboxing probably around the 20-minute mark or something. We may even bring it forward if we need to, but let us know if you have any questions. All right. Zach says, while you were gone, Shane, I picked up a Sire S7 Blue Schecter VSS Green Rain, Hall of Fame 2 Reverb, Copper Sound Triple Graph, and a Roland JC40. All right, Zach, you're going to have to send your credit card number to everybody, mate. That's awesome. Far out. Very cool. Yeah, those Sire guitars I've not seen at any shop I visited in recent times here in Australia. So I've had a lot of people ask me if I'm going to review them. It's like, I can't find them anywhere. So, yeah. Actually, I think one of the guys that bought one or imported one emailed me a little while back and asked me if I wanted to borrow it. And I don't like borrowing guitars off people I don't know in person. Just in case anything kind of goes wrong. But We may start doing that down the track. I don't know. Maybe we can work out an arrangement to review, channel supporters' guitars or something. I don't know, or just stuff I can't find locally as a lefty. But the good thing is, if you're a right-handed player, obviously all this stuff is available in right-handed. So it makes it very easy to find if you're a righty. The true story of how I broke my ankle was that I was running from a bunch of rabid groupies. Of course, being a blues musician, they were all middle-aged dudes. Yeah, man. That's 100% middle age. I reckon older than that, mate. Yeah. That's the sad. It's, what do they call it? They call the blues jams. It's basically a sausage fest. It's like one or two women there, and then it's all just old dudes. Martin says, I broke 3 fingers on my right hand, had to stop playing lefty to use a thumb pick. Oh, okay, wow. Far out. Yeah, if you ever saw the interview I shot with Jerry from Jerry's Lefty Guitars, the first one, which is really old, it's when I tore my thing in my back and I was sitting like a cripple. But he was talking about how he was a right-handed guitarist until he lost his index finger in a saw, like, because he was a high-end builder. He built all these custom properties from Naples all the way up Florida, and he lost his finger, which ended up converting him to playing left-handed. That's how all that started. It's crazy how you can kind of adapt if you want to. I always wondered if it would be easy enough to switch hands, because you've got the knowledge. It's just the motor skills that are different on each hand. One hand you can generally move your fingers faster than the other. Like, my left hand's really quite slow, whereas my right hand I can really move just a whole lot faster, even though I'm left-handed. It's kind of weird, but yeah, it is what it is. I just think if you're forced into that situation, you love playing, you'd probably want to switch, but I could be wrong. All right, welcome everybody. We've got more people here already. Excuse me. Women don't understand blues. Yeah, that's it. Hey Shane, just ordered an Artist 20-watt amp based on all of your videos. Wasn't looking for a new amp, more into solid state. I tell you what, you're going to love that amp. It's funny because a good mate of mine who I saw on Dave K, I'll say that much, he has one. We were talking about this last Sunday, just how great it is. He goes, did you re-review that? I was like, yeah, it's been 4 years. It's like one of the best underrated tube amps you can buy, and you'll love it. I'd be really surprised if you don't love it. And I think once you compare it up against most solid state amps, I compared it against the Katana, and I thought it killed the Katana. But, two different types of tech for two different types of people. But I'd be really surprised if you don't love it. It's such a great amp. Just experiment around with the master volume in different spots too. Just start it at 12 o'clock and work it from there, because you can get great tones out of that thing. It's so good. All right. Can you use an electric guitar through an acoustic amp? Look, you could. It's just not going to sound very good. The only way you could probably make that work is if you use sort of like an amp simulator pedal. Whether you've got a Tech 21 Blonde or a Joyo American Sound or any of those. Because you basically, those acoustic amplifiers are a lot like a PA system in many ways, except you get a tweeter. So you might get different sort of frequencies coming out of it, but in many ways you could run that, or a Kemper or anything, you could plug it into that and probably make it work. I would just say leave it all dry. Maybe you can still use the reverb, but just have a play with it. You probably get that to work. I haven't done it personally, but just knowing what I know about PA systems and acoustic amps, that would probably work. If anyone else has had more experience with that, let us know. I know many people who played acoustic guitars through electric guitar clean channels, so you can also do it in reverse. I can't control who gets gifted memberships, but you can pray to the guitar gods. All right. Greg says, almost lost my index finger as a right-handed guitarist, and I've kept on playing. I can't bend the index finger, but it makes a wicked bar. Oh, yeah, for like bar chords. Made me develop a strong pinky in the end. Well, there you go. So you sort of ended up compromising. One of the best guitar players in Melbourne, one of my good friends who you've seen, he sort of ended up trimming off the top of his fingers with a saw. I know a few people have done this, and I don't know exactly what happened there, but yeah, after he got past the sensitivity of it, he's absolutely rips. So he still plays the same hand. Yeah, you can definitely make it work. It's just, it's tough to get, I guess, back into it, or it can take time to kind of start feeling comfortable or confident again. All right, how many people we got here? We got 98 people here, 34 thumbs up. Yeah, drop a thumbs up if you can. I appreciate it. We're at the 15-minute mark, so we might get stuck into the unboxing very soon. I'm going to start with a stock model that you can just get straight off the shelf. And then I haven't seen these yet. So these have been sitting in boxes for a few days, and I was like, man, I'm itching to do this. And I think sometimes the first reaction or impression makes for a pretty enjoyable video. So I've set up a second camera over here, so we'll be able to showcase a little bit about what they look like without having to hold it up like this. To me, an electric through an acoustic amp sounds better than an acoustic through an electric amp. Well, there you go. Yeah, I haven't. I know, like, acoustic amps are way more full range. You're getting like a very different EQ kind of thing. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. But yeah, I think they would also sound, just knowing what I know about PA systems, sometimes if you just plug an electric guitar straight in, it can be kind of clacky and a bit too over the top on the bright side. I do know though that a lot of there's jazz guys who will play humbucker, Gibson style or Ibanez style guitars directly into a PA system without using an amp, and they get that sound. So maybe with a bit of EQ, you can definitely make that work. Oh man, John says, "Wow, this is brutal. Everyone's in the wars. Just recovering from a snapped radius bone in my left arm. Ouch." They inserted a 10-inch plate, 6 screws, couldn't play for 12 months. Just getting back into it. Mate, far out. I'm sorry to hear that. That's brutal. That is brutal. All right, you got Simon James from Toronto. Welcome, mate. He's a lefty as well. Thank you for the kind words. Acoustic amps sound really scooped with electrics. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. There's just something a bit different there, but, a bit of extra mids and bass and a Kemper and you're laughing. Or whatever the case is. Okay. Any cheap left-handed guitar recommendations? I mean, yeah, I would say the Yamaha Pacifica is a great one. You can get a great Squier Affinity or Classic Vibe. The Classic Vibes are starting to get more expensive now, so they're sort of getting a little harder to recommend, just based on, like, if you want a really cheap guitar. But the Affinity series stuff's great. I've reviewed the Telecaster and Strat a few times. I think they're great. Artist Guitars make plenty of great affordable guitars if you live in Australia, US, or England, or New Zealand. And Harley Benton, if you can get them cheap in your area, or get them delivered, I should say, without having to pay too much on the shipping, or check the used market. They're awesome. Like that Fusion Tally that I reviewed, the sort of yellow gold looking one, that thing friggin' rocks. It's one of my best guitars. It's so good. It's like sub $500. I would consider sub $500 affordable. If you're looking for something under $3, then you want to look at the Yamaha Pacificas, Squier Affinity series. I could take either of those guitars and play live at a gig or a jam and not have any problems. They're really good. All right. There we go. John's, yeah, I did know this, actually. I forgot about it completely. John says, another brick in the wall solo was done with a P90 Les Paul direct into a mixing desk. You can do anything if you know how to tweak your gear. Absolutely. I heard Hendrix did some of that kind of stuff too, right? I don't know exactly how he got his signal chain, but I remember hearing something about him as well. It might have just been for, like, layers, possibly, but we got, I don't know how to pronounce your name, is something from Marulabach. Welcome, man. We've got Damien from Florida. Awesome stuff. Thanks everybody for joining in. You've joined at the right time. We're going to start getting into a little bit of a unboxing here. We'll get stuck into it. So right around the 20-minute mark is now. So let's do it. All right, I'll be back. That's right here. All right, here we go. Now, I've just got to make sure I don't have my personal details all over this. Otherwise, I get a lot of phone calls. It's happened before. All right, here we go. Let's do this one. I'll get back onto the comments in 1 second. But this lovely looking guitar is a lefty. It's also something that I don't have anything close to when it comes to the setup of it, or the pickup combination, I should say. And it's also visually a little bit different to what I'm used to. So I can't wait to see this. This is going to be great. All right, let's do it. So this guitar is made in Japan, which probably already gives it away. Oh, hang on. There's another thing of cardboard in here, which is awesome. It actually stops the guitar from moving in the middle. That's pretty good. And these are now shipped directly from Vola. They're not doing the distributors as much now. So they've dropped the price, which is a good thing. And you get this ridiculously cool looking gig bag, which is way better than the prior ones, which were great. They're padded on the back here. Have a look at this. I'll switch over here. Look at that. Nice big padded gig bag, which is something you don't see that often. Check it out. It's got like a military color thing to it. So, yeah, Vola guitars are made in Japan. I probably showcased, I think, 4 on the channel. Dr. Rick showcased the one with the roasted maple neck, the Vola Oz, which was fantastic. So, yeah, we'll take a look and see what we get here. It's always good. I won't bore you too much with all the accessories, but we get, obviously, whammy bar. Is that going to do the thing yet? We get the tools, all that kind of stuff. Looks like we get some instructions and a bit of a product catalog kind of thing, which is cool. And a massive thanks to Vola for sending this out. Greg, thanks so much, man. So these are product provided, obviously. I didn't buy both of these. So that's why it says paid promotion somewhere, and it will after the live stream as well. So many people don't use that still. Why? All right, here we go. John says, pizza party at Shane's house. I'll bring the Pepsi Max. All right, let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this. I won't torment you anymore. I'll come back to the comments in just a sec. If I've missed anything, just bear with me. All right. The box gave it away. I saw someone wrote that. Yeah, they've got a very distinct box. I even tried to open it up backwards so it wouldn't be as obvious. I'll just move this microphone over a bit. All right. Whew. Look at this. Now that's some serious packing right there. This gig bag rocks. Yeah, this is right up there as one of the best gig bags I've seen. It is very cool. First impressions, it's super light and squeaky. While I'm doing this, I'll go back to this camera for a sec. How many truss rod wrenches do you own? Too many. Yeah, I don't know, man. I got a bag. I've got a mic. You know, if you've ever bought a microphone, they come in those little vinyl bags with the zip at the top. I've got one full of little Allen keys and tools from different guitars over the years. It's crazy. And I always misplace that bag. And then I find it, I'm like, man, that's a lot. All right, I'll run you through all the specs and stuff in just a sec. But let's go over to... All right, let's get this off because it's squeaking like nobody's business. So for those who have just joined, we're doing a double guitar unboxing today. Oh, what? Oh, for a minute there, I panicked. I thought it was fretless. I was like, oh no, I can't play a fretless. Oh, look at this. Hopefully that, I can't really see from back here, but hopefully that's working. So if you're wondering what this is, This is just a little card they put in there. Wow. It is so light. It's almost in tune. It's probably just flat evenly across the board, but check this out, man. This is absolutely stunning. It's very different, right? A lot of the guitars I've been playing over the last few years have been pretty boring, traditionally, like just the standard stuff. I'm really getting into some of these modern type of guitars. They just offer a few things that you can't get on other instruments. So this is, let me bring this up. This is the Vola Oz MRM, which stands for Maykown Rickenback. Sorry, I think that's how you pronounce it. I actually watched this guy play. He's a lefty. Like, unbelievably good chops. Like, ridiculously good chops. If you've not heard of him, I put a link down to the guitar in the description. You can check it out. There's a lot of cool things going on with this. I think what I really liked about it was the P90 in the neck and the humbucker in the bridge here. So, yeah, what a nice looking electric guitar. I mean, Vola are just doing great stuff. So I'll go down here and check the specs. So it's obviously a bolt-on neck. We get the body is older. We get roasted maple one-piece neck. Roasted maple, definitely the favorite of guitar players now, I would say. And it feels awesome. It also doesn't feel quite as thin as the standard. Oh, maybe it does, actually. I'll find out what profile it is. It feels pretty good, but it also does feel fairly modern in some ways. Yeah, but this guy, this Rickenback guy, I think it's Rickenback. I think that's how you say it. He's a great player, man. Just like one of those unpredictable plays. That's great. So we get one volume push-pull coil tap on the humbucker, one tone push-pull, and a bright mud switch. There's a three-way, one-button switch for direct. So anyway, I think what this means is there's some capacitors under one of these. Oh, you can choose between two capacitors. It's supposed to change the tone. And we get a three-way toggle switch, which I like. And obviously the pick guard here is see-through. So this is going to be pretty cool. I'm actually really looking forward to it. And it feels like it's got nice big frets. 24 stainless steel frets. Man. Yeah, wow. So there we go. I'll just get back to the chat here. Just bear with me one moment. Where's my other guitar stand? There we go. All right. So anyway, that's is it coil splitting? It is. Yeah, so the humbucker, you can coil split that. It basically gives you a lot of different tonal options, and I think the way that it works is there's a subtle tone difference with one of the push-pull pots up, and then there's a bigger difference with the other one. So I need to, yeah, I haven't tried it yet. I'm not set up to do it on the live stream, but man, it is light. It's really light, which is fantastic, because one of my favorite guitars is the Kiesel because it's so light and it sounds great, but that's close to just being as light. John says, that looks beautiful. I've had my fill of black guitars. Yeah, black guitars are a bit funny. Like, they can be a bit fingerprinty, and they're really hard to photograph. Actually, it's funnily enough, I have another guitar that's black that was just on loan coming up on a video. And it was I actually commented on how hard it was to film, because everywhere you hold it, you see the studio lights, you can see my monitor. It's a tough guitar to photograph without fingerprints on it as well. It's just a fingerprinting machine. 3-Card Monty says P90 and humbuckers is so ideal. Yeah, I agree. It's funny. I had a P90 guitar a while back. Well, I still got one, but the Gibson Les Paul Special I ended up selling because the neck pickup was just a little bit on the muddy side for my style of playing. So I'm hoping that this has a bit more of that sort of really gnarly top end that I'm looking for. Because you don't really need a lot of low end. You just want that snap on the tops, because your amp can give you as much low frequency as you need, right? for me now, it's more about finding that sort of snappy pickup in any position and on any guitar, especially Telecasters and all that kind of stuff. But that, I'm tipping, will have a pretty great sound. All right, how do I like the reverse headstock? Oh yeah, I didn't comment on that. A lot of people lose their minds on them. So yeah, I agree. Visually, it does my head in when I first see it, but I actually don't mind visually how they look. I think what's going to be the problem is trying to tune it, right? Because all the tuners are upside down. So it's going to get me the first time or first few times I restring that guitar without question. It's just going to be a bit of a what's the easy way of saying it? It's going to mess with my mind. I'll put it that way. It's the clean way of saying it. Hey, we've got Todd Steele here. Well, welcome, man. He says, stuck in traffic. I can't talk much. The bowl looks fantastic. Hey, thanks, mate. Yeah, it looks and feels great. So I can't wait to showcase this. Thanks, and I hope you're doing well. How do I... Oh, I already read that one. We got Brother Hawk from Thailand. Welcome, welcome. All right, so yeah, if anyone else has any questions about that one, let us know. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put it back in the gig bag. It's probably the smart thing to do, right? So yeah, that's the Vola Oz MRM. It's very cool. Yeah, I'd feel better about just putting it back in a gig bag than just letting it float around. So in she goes. Yeah, the reverse headstock's definitely something to get used to. No questions about it, but this gig bag's great. Killing my PRS one. It's very good. All right. All right. Let's take a couple of comments here. Damien says you should try an LTD Phoenix 1000 Deluxe in vintage white. Ooh, I don't know that one. I'll Google it. Thanks for the suggestion. LTD's a brand I see a bit, but I don't see too many lefties. Oh, that looks good. It looks like a Firebird, sort of a Gibson Firebird. I think that's what you call them. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I prefer the reverse headstock. Yeah, some people says it adds a bit of low end or a bit of ease on the low string, I should say. So it's a bit easier to sort of work with. But yeah, I don't know. It's been a while since I played one. I think the last reverse headstock one was the Harley Benton. Oh, it's a white tally with like Gretsch style pickups. That thing was awesome. That was one of the lightest guitars I've ever played. I get confused going from 6 in line to 3 to 3. Yeah, I got to say, I actually prefer 3 in a line on one side. 6, sorry, I actually prefer 6 aside. 6 in line as opposed to 3 aside. That's what I'm trying to say. Jeez, I can't talk. Every time I go to a headstock with, tuning pegs on it either side, it's never as easy. I have to spin it around, and it's like, oh man. Anyway, that's just me. Let us know which one you prefer. Anyway, whether or not you're into 6 aside. Actually, let's do a poll here. How do we do this? Do you prefer? Oh, you can't do. Oh, you can only do yes, no one. Well, we'll try that later. All right, let us know if you want to get over to the next guitar, or whether we should wait. We should probably just keep going, right? Clinton says, "Hey mate, your style of playing inspired me to learn guitar, so thank you." Hey, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Going strong and watch every episode you post. Thanks. Man, guitar is one of those things you can play forever, or as long as you want to play, and just try to find stuff that keeps inspiring you to play, and that'll change over time. When I first started, it was strictly blues, and the stuff I'm listening to now is almost a lot of the stuff that still great guitar music, but just stuff I was completely oblivious to, and it keeps you motivated. So thank you for the kind words, and keep at it. It's you get what you put into it. You really do. So yeah, you put in very little time, you're going to get very little back. You put in a bit more time, you're going to get a bit more back. It's very responsive in that way, unlike other hobbies you can do. So yeah. Duncan pickups are really versatile. Duncan pickups are great. All right, let's see. I'll just scroll up in case I missed anything. Squire Classic Vibe 50 tally versus the Fender Player tally. Yeah, I mean, you've kind of got to try them. They're very similar to each other. The price might not be a deciding factor because I actually it would be because the Player Series are now like I think they're 50% more than they were 4 years ago. So they're in Australia, they're $1,500. I was like, what? Player Series Tally. They're great guitars. Like, there's nothing wrong with them, but they've been jacked up in price. And I'm starting to think you probably would be better off just buying the Squire. But yeah, it really comes down to what you're looking for long term. And then there's some differences between them as well. Like, not everybody likes the high gloss neck on the Classic Vibes. I'm one of those people. I ended up sanding mine down so it was a bit less shiny and sticky. That was the only guitar I had that problem on where I felt like the neck was super sticky. Actually, there was another one, but it was a different type of finish. But just in conventional types of guitar finishes, then yeah, that Classic Vibe neck is it's great, but it can be a bit too sticky. So I did a video on it too, just sort of sanding it down and getting it done. Whereas the Fender has a better neck, like the neck feels better. The tuners are probably slightly nicer as well and more reliable on the Fender. So you're getting some of that better hardware. Tone-wise, there's not going to be a lot in it at all. And unfortunately, you don't even get a gig bag with either of them. So you've got to add that into the equation as well. All right, I'll just have a quick drink of this. And then we'll fire up the next one. Yeah. J. Scott H says the Player Series prices have gotten out of control. There you go. That's pretty much what I was saying, but in a much more concise way. Look, if you had your heart set on a Fender, there's nothing wrong with those Player Series guitars. I mean, the Strat I owned back before they were called a Player Series, I gigged with those Mexican-made Strats everywhere. Like they're usually like the guitar I would buy if I traveled, and because they're like you don't need to do anything to them; they just work. And I actually bought one probably about 6 years ago. No, it's probably longer than that. I can't really remember. I bought one about 6 years ago. Sold it just after a couple of years after I moved here, and like they're almost perfect. The only thing I don't love about the guitars long term is the switches, like the pickup selection switch, at least on the Strat. They tend to get too loose too quickly. It's an easy thing to fix, but it's just, that's one area where they could improve. All right. Let's do the next one. So this next one is a custom guitar. You might be familiar with this. This is the guitar I'm playing the most at the moment. This is my Kiesel. It's an S6. I kept calling it an S5 because my camera is called an S5. It's actually an S6. So this has the roasted maple neck. It's got all the, basically the Johnny Highland pickups. This really wicked finish. Roasted maple neck, chunky neck, stainless steel, 24 stainless steel frets. And it's just the best. It's so good. It's like the ultimate mix of a Tally and a Strat. Whether or not you like it visually, it doesn't really matter because I love it. It was exactly, the custom sort of finish that I was looking for. And it really changed my mind on Kiesel. I thought Kiesel were just for metal guys. I had no idea that, they were sort of doing stuff with Johnny Highland and a few other artists and all that kind of stuff. So I got chatting with Brandon from Kiesel. So thanks, Brandon, for all your help. And he's a wonderful player. Go check him out on their YouTube channel. He's one of the best. I watch him play and I go, wow, this guy's got it all. He's so good. So he goes, what are you looking for? I said, you know what? I love my PRS SE Custom 24, but there's a few things about it that I would like to make better. And I'm tipping that this might be that guitar. So let's do it. Let's do it. Hey, it's Quentin here. Welcome. Hey, and Todd Flowers as well. Sorry if I've ignored everybody in the chat. Hey, we've got Deadbeat Studios here. Jamie, how you doing, man? He says, I'm impressed with the Fender Player Series 2, But I agree, it's too much. Yeah, all their stuff's gone up, right? Their guitars, their basses, it's all going up fast. Sort of, it just seems crazy. And guys, if you're at all into great musicianship and one of the best bass players around, go check out Deadbeat Studios. His channel is awesome. I'm always on his live stream, so go support him. It's awesome. All right, let's get the next one over here. You know, if you know the channel, I don't get to do this very often when it comes to two guitars at the same time, but this happens once every few years at the most. But it was just good timing. I thought this might be a good opportunity to sort of share this whole first impressions with everybody, just to, you know, because you never know, right? Let's check this out. Just bear with me one sec. All right, let's change this over to here. All right, there's the box. And I'm gonna be the recycling king coming up. It's gonna be my new handle. Oh. Man, these gig bags as well. Far out. Look at that. You know, I've said on my last review video how good these were. These are great. You know, these are really tough to beat. You know, compare this with what Fender were putting in their boxes when they were giving out gig bags. This is freaking awesome. And it's different to my last one too. My other one says Kiesel down here, so I'll be able to identify which guitar is which very easily, which is great. I don't have to put some tape on there or anything. All right, let's move this box, and we will give it a go. All right. Yeah, thanks everybody for joining in as well. I appreciate it. It's been way too long since the last live stream. I think the last one I did was probably close to 8 weeks ago. So yeah, thank you again for joining in. Yeah, these gig bags. Someone just said sharp gig bag. Yeah, these things are fantastic. I'll just do a quick check. See if we've got anything in the front here. Yeah, massive thanks to Brandon and Kiesel for sending this out. Yeah, unless you get a chance to play one of these, you might have made similar assumptions to what I made, where you're like, yeah, how good can they be? I'm used to playing, you know, X, Y, and Z when it comes to guitars. Whew. You know what? I'm just going to hit record. I'm going to hit record on this, so I might use this in my video. Holy crap. Are you kidding me? Oh, man. Wow, it's so light. Far out. So Brandon sort of suggested going with a gloss finish instead of the... Oh, wow. You've got to be kidding. This is insane. Oh, if this weighs 2 kilograms, which is 4.4 pounds, I'd be surprised. This is unbelievably light. Wow. Have a look at this. I'll show you up close because this is the only way to really do it. Let me bring this mic over so I'm not talking into the abyss. So yeah, have a look at this. We get an F-hole here. So yeah, very cool. 24 frets. Has the back. Oh man, this is something else. Are you kidding me? Wow. Oh. Oh, I mean, look, look at that neck. I've never seen a guitar with a neck like this before. Oh man, I just can't get over how light this is. Wow, we got the locking tuners as well, which was all part of the request there. So it's going to focus on my face, but yeah, you get a good sense of what that looks like. Holy crap. Yeah, I've played I played guitars from Nick Huber and Monteleone and who else is high end? Like Collings, and this is every bit as good. I've played 10 top PRS guitars before that don't look this good. So as you can see, right, it's got a similar sort of finish to my other one. My other one's more of a matte finish. But yeah, he did sort of suggest going for a guitar that was a bit more high gloss with this, and I can see why. Wow. This neck is something else. So it's a nice chunky neck. I asked Brandon, you know, I love so much about my last guitar. If this could feel similar in the hand, playability wise, you know, I'd be happy. I didn't realize it was going to look like this, because it's funny. I asked them if they could send an update photo. I was just keen to see. I never got a reply because it was already sent. I didn't realize at the time. I think it was just to hold the suspense. But wow, this is crazy. So I'll give you some quick info on this, and then I'll get back to the comments. So this, it might be different to my initial like spec sheet. I covered some stuff, and then I said, if any of this doesn't look or sound right for the build, then feel free to adjust it, right? So this is a $2,200 US guitar, by the way. So this isn't $6 or $7 grand. This is $2,200, which means like where are you gonna get a $2,200 custom guitar from that looks anywhere near like this, or a production model? Like, holy crap. So we get a flame maple neck, flame maple headstock, dot inlays. Yep. We've got the stainless steel medium jumbo frets, 10-inch fingerboard radius, clear gloss top coat, swamp ash body. Yeah, I just can't get over how light this is. Wow, this is something else. I think the G string's slightly out, but that's straight out of the box, all the way from Escondido, California, which sounds like an awesome place. But yeah, anyway, that's the last time I'll just show you that, and we'll switch it over to here so you can get a sense of this. No push-pull pots. We get a 5-way position switch. That's pretty cool. So we can split the coils on tip, and it'll be some sort of like, you know, do you want to use, or it might be a phasing thing. Anyway, either way, I'll work that out. It's been a few months since I put in the request, and they actually got it done really fast. So yeah, guys, thank you so much from Kiesel for getting one of these on the channel and sending one out. I mean, this is going to be. There's no reason why I wouldn't want to play this. I'm blown away. I'm absolutely blown away. That is really something special. So just a quick look at which camera am I on? Number 2. Just to show you the other one, which has more of that sort of matte finish, I guess. You know, it's got like a dry finish. I think I understand why Brandon was saying go for the gloss finish. It really does make the top pop. Yeah, and it's wow, unbelievable. So yeah, spoiled silly. That's insane. All right, guys. Well, there we go. Rocky says, "Congrats on that axe and take care." Thanks, Rocky. I appreciate that, mate. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Ben, welcome, man. He says, if I don't hear some fusion licks on that guitar now, I'm going to unsubscribe. Mate, I'm going to have to pick your brain on a few of those. Oh, no, I'm really looking forward to playing with that. That's something else. I can't wait to plug it in. I'm going to plug it in after this live stream. But, yeah, wow. That's got to be arguably my nicest looking electric. Unbelievable. And it's got humbuckers too, so... You know, a great point of difference from the other one. Yeah, wow. That neck's insane. All right. The guitar looks pretty too. Nice to play. Reminds me of Nigel in Spinal Tap, where he has one guitar that never gets played. Yeah, man, I haven't seen that for so long. That's a great movie. Um, Let me just fix this. Mic stand keeps falling over. All right, I am back to the comments here. Let's have a quick look. I'll just take some flamed out. Dude, yeah, that's from the Turkey 79. That neck is... That's right up there. If you check out my videos, I reviewed one called a Monteleone. It's a solid body. The only Monteleone solid body guitar he ever made. And that neck looks every bit as good. Wow. That is crazy. So it's funny, I just did a guitar sort of like rundown of all of what I've got. And obviously these two weren't on that. But yeah, there's no way that will be a short-term guitar. I'm going to have that. Unless I just don't gel. I can already tell I love it. And that's, yeah, it's going to be awesome. So yeah, wow. Mojo67 says, yes, Kiesel CT6 in blue fade, and it's just as good as my PRS McCarty. Great made guitar for less money than PRS. Well, there you go. Yeah, I totally agree. The 10 top I played recently at, not recently, last July at Jerry's Lefty Guitars, or June. It was it was like beautiful. I mean, visually it's stunning. There's nothing wrong with that guitar, but for a fifth of the price, much better guitar. Sorry if I took this already, but Kenneth says flame neck looks incredible. Absolutely beautiful from John. All right, thanks guys. That's awesome. Yeah, it is a Kiesel. So if you want to check out their websites, all that kind of stuff, there's some links in the description. They're not affiliate links. You can check them out. But yeah, wow, I just wanted to unbox that on camera. I figured it might be, the first impressions are usually the ones that people can respond to and enjoy. So I thought, yeah, let's do it. Man, I'm blown away by both those guitars. That's insane. They're both incredibly light, which is one of the best attributes for any guitar now. I pick up my Strat, and I love my Strat, but it's heavy. Unlike my American Original Telecaster, which is quite light, the Strat is a ball breaker. It weighs twice as much as my Kiesel, which is another reason why I prefer to play the Kiesel. That and the stainless steel frets and the extra frets are really cool. But yeah, it's just like, it's funny when you pick up a guitar and it looks like that and you just expect it to weigh quite a lot, and it doesn't. It's like the gig bag and guitar are lighter than my Strat. Anyway. Its left-handed knobs probably go up to 1. It's left-handed. Oh, I don't know what that means. Maybe I missed the joke. All right, Thrash Metal Studios here. Welcome, man. I picked up a 2019 Gibson Les Paul Classic in black with cream binding. Just setting her up now. Oh, that's great. Guys, if you may have already been subscribed to Thrash Metal a while back. I think he pulled his channel because of the reaction videos, which kind of did weird things to his channel. So go back and subscribe. I'm always joining in on his videos and stuff. So yeah, I heard about your PayPal dramas too, man. So yeah, I didn't comment. I was actually, I think, the first person to watch that. I was doing other stuff at the time, but yeah, I hope it doesn't happen again, at least anyway. But that's cool, man. Congrats. You always got good amps and guitars floating through the studio. Tim C says, last time I custom ordered from them, they were called Carvin. You won't be disappointed. The shop is amazing. Yeah, I mean, I was stunned how great my S6 was, or is, and it's still fantastic. And that other one looks like the next level. It's blown me away. Ben says, I can't stay for too long. Got a couple of gigs this Arvo. Very cool, mate. Well, have a good gig. Thanks for joining in. And yeah, I can't wait to take this guitar out and give it a smash. It's going to be great. And I think the F-hole thing is just a good point of difference too from most of my other ones. I think the only one that has really anything similar is the Little Crow, but completely different pickup combination. You probably notice I'm trying not to double up on stuff anymore or get too many of the same type of guitars. It's like, well, what can this offer that's different to everything else? Otherwise, it's kind of weird, right? Like you get a wall full of the same guitar. It makes no sense. I think having like a different pickup in the neck or a different pickup in the bridge is enough of a reason to make it a little bit more unique, or different pickups altogether. But just having something, man, where is it? This thing is awesome. Oh, man. It's quite loud too. Like, yeah, wow. Yeah, it's an interesting kind of color. It's a little bit on the, I don't know what you would exactly call this color. It's sort of, it's maybe got like a slight blue tint through it. If I had to give it a color, maybe green, maybe in between. Wow, I mean, this is something else. Far out, I can't believe it. It's on the gig bag, by the way. I'm not just throwing it on the ground. I wouldn't do that. All right. Let's go back to the comments here. Oh, there you go. Thrash Metal Studio says, I'm back on it. Love the new fiddles, man. Got my money back and then some. Fantastic, mate. I hate hearing stuff like that when people get, there's people that take advantage of other people, like on we call it Gumtree or Craigslist or whatever you got over there. Okay. Someone asked if the knobs go up. Yeah. Someone asked if the knobs go up to 11. Most lefties go from silent 10 all the way up to 1 at the loudest. Shane said this is a $2,200 guitar. Yeah, it is. So $2,200. That's $2,200 US from their website. Looking at which I don't know if I can show you here. Let me just see if this works. You probably can't see it because the camera's like a mile away. Is this going to work? No, it's not. But basically here, is that going to work? Is that working? No, it's not going to work. But yeah, $2,249 for all the stuff that was spec'd out. If you were to do that from PRS, it'd be 10 grand. It'd have to be 10 grand, right? At least that's what I'd be assuming. So yeah, what I'll do when I do the full review, I'll spec the description out with all the stuff. I'll cover a lot of it in the video, but I know people will go, hey, what thing did you get on this? What exact piece or whatever? So I'll have a big description full of information regarding the guitar. I can't believe that electric guitar. Like, they're both beautiful, but that Kiesel is crazy. And for those wondering too, the Vola I think is half that price, right? So yeah, and it holds up great, but it's back in the case. So yeah, far out, man. It's gonna be a fun couple of weeks coming up before I move. Aussies say awesome, just like New Yorkers, love it. That's very cool. Yeah, there's some funny things. Like, I think some of the Boston accent is very similar to how Australians say car and far and, all the AR words. I noticed when I was there for work one time, I was like, oh, this is bizarre. Like, people sound almost Australian on certain enunciations, which was cool. If your 79 Super Reverb only works on the normal channel, what is wrong? Whew, man. I would just take that to a tech and get that sorted out. Look, sometimes I don't know enough about the electronics in that particular amp to say, oh, if these valves are not working, then you lose that channel. But I would say it's probably best to just take it into a guy that knows what they're doing to get everything checked. That would be by far the easiest thing to do. So, yeah, I don't know is the easy answer. It could be something as simple as the input jack is faulty, right? You just got to make sure you're sort of checking everything. But yeah, old amps are usually fairly easy to fix, although they can be a bit of a black hole for money. But take it to a reputable tech somewhere, wherever you live, and I think you'll get the best peace of mind. Take it to someone who gets recommended. That's what I would do. Dr. Rick says both Vola and Kiesel look awesome. I'm sure they'll sound great. Oh man, I thank you, and I totally agree. I reckon they're both going to be rocking. I can't wait to check out that neck P90 pickup on the Vola. I reckon that's going to be great. Again, if you haven't seen the dude whose name is on that guitar, who I mentioned before, go have a look at his playing. Is it like one of the best left-handed players I've ever heard? Like, just fantastic. All right. Damien, thank you, mate. Thanks for joining in from Uruguay. Hopefully I pronounced that okay. I think that's Kiesel's version of the Trampas Green. Yeah, I sort of said to them, like, here's what I love about the PRS SE, and it's been such a great guitar. I don't plan on getting rid of it because it's, it's awesome. So I think that was kind of like the template for coming up. Obviously, the shape's different, and the headstock's different, and the everything, the neck shape profile is different. I think this Kiesel's a bit like if I could customize the PRS with a fatter neck and stainless steel frets and all these little things, that's what it would be, right? And the F hole is just a good point of difference. So I can't wait to see. For those who don't play it live or up at loud, if you've ever played a 335 before, sometimes you can get it up to a point where the guitar's really cooking. Like, you're loud, the amp's loud, you're getting a lot of sustain. You'll feel a bit of air coming out of the F hole. It doesn't happen all of the time, but I remember a few times I felt air coming out of the 335 F hole onto my arm. It'd be interesting to see whether or not I get that same experience with that, because I don't often play, well, with the exception of the Little Crow, which is now fixed, I haven't really played an F hole sort of guitar live for forever. So yeah, it should be interesting. That may be due to the Irish influence in both Boston and Australian accents. Yeah, 100%, Siegfried. You're definitely right there. Carbon guitars are really nice, but they don't really hold their value. Yeah, no, you're right. It is hard to sell any custom guitar. I think when you're talking about something you've had built to your spec, it's generally hard to move it on unless, you're a household name. Then it's easy. But yeah, I think the point of these guitars is, well, yeah, you definitely lose money selling it. The idea is to get a great guitar at a great deal and not sell it. But yeah, I totally agree. I covered that in one of my videos. Like, I think it was the top 10 guitars that don't hold their value. You can check that out. But it's a blast from the past, that one. But yeah, it's funny. I used to be so stubborn with what I liked. It was only like these brands and these type of shapes, and now I'm like, I see the full advantage of a modern Telecaster or a Super Strat. There's so many advantages to them that I overlooked for years, and I think as more became available to me as a lefty, either in shops or just through YouTube, whatever the case may be, or Sky Music, anywhere, Jerry's Lefty Guitars, I started to appreciate like all the stuff that I probably wouldn't have been as interested in years ago, like the Tom Anderson guitars and Nick Huber and all those kind of things. And I mean, they're kind of expensive, but it's great to test them out and kind of get a sense of what's going on. I'll just take a quick drink. Stika Andres says, have you ever heard of Al Mayer guitars? Greetings from Stockholm. Oh, very cool. No, I don't know them. You can fill me in on them or post a link and I'll approve it in the chat. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at those too. Actually, I'll just put it in a tab for later. But yeah, there's so many great guitar brands I'm oblivious to. Jamie says, I grew up playing a Carvin bass and amp. Great stuff for the price. There you go. Very cool. Yeah, guys, again, if you don't know Jamie's channel, go check it out. The guy is a freak. He plays not only the best bass you've ever heard, but he can play guitar, he can sing, and play drums. Show off. Yeah, if all goes well, next year, we might be doing some stuff. Hang in there. Right. Thrash Metal Studio says, I like Ted Nugent when he explained about why he played Birdland Gibsons and how he knew where to stand to get them to take off and start feeding back in a certain note, and such pretty cool stuff. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's like a sweet spot for for your amp and guitar combination. You know, my Strat and my Super Reverb had that special combination. It's like with just the right amount of volume, a little bit of drive, and getting on the right pickup combination, you can kind of just let those notes go, and they keep going. It's a lot of fun. I think I first heard that from Buddy Guy back in the day. He was a guy who could hold a note for 24 bars. I was like, how is he doing this? And it was on a Strat. I know he had some internal wizardry going in on his tone control there, but yeah, it was pretty cool. It's good fun when you can get that to work. And some of my favorite 335 players, like Chris Kane, can sort of, in the right circumstance, get that long note to work. And Jack Pearson's another great example of that. Man, Jack is so good. Or Tim C says, have you ever checked out Ormsby guitars? I have, but I haven't reviewed any. So I've not seen a lefty anywhere. I've put them into Guitar Search Saturdays twice. So Melbourne Guitar Show from like 4 years ago now, I showcased some in that. I did a 5 guitars you might not know video. I think they're in there. And my last Guitar Search Saturdays was at Mega Music in Perth. And I showcased their carbon fiber one. It's not a carbon fiber guitar, but it's a carbon fiber pickguard. It's great. It's got fanned frets. It was super cool. So, yeah, great guitars. I mean, I know they make their stuff's made in Korea, but then they've got their like Australian custom shop that make guitars for anywhere, I guess, if you want to spend a bit more money. So, I haven't tried one. It might be worth looking into in the future. They're probably a little bit on the metal side for me, just visually. I like the look of them, but the fan fret thing's probably, at least as of now, a little bit too weird for me. But I think their quality looks fantastic, and even their production line stuff, which are made offshore or in Korea, Indonesia, wherever they're made, it's like right up there with guitars way more expensive. So I think they do good stuff. I think in Australia they're about 1800 bucks from memory. What have we got? All right, we're gonna just get loaded up on caffeine. All right, Michael. Hey, welcome, man. It says thoughts on small watt amps for blues. A little bit more information, like yeah, there's plenty of good low watt amps. I mean, the Artist Tweetone 20 is awesome. You get a great clean channel, great drive channel. You know, you can even go down to something like a Blues Junior, which isn't as good in my experience owning both. The Tweetone's a better amp. If you want to go smaller again, you can do that too. I think that you can even get away with the Marshall DSL 20 on the clean channel, overdrive, done. Like, that's a great combination. Dr. Rick and I got to try that live in the context of a mix at the shop. It was awesome. Like, great tone, no problems whatsoever. There's plenty of great amps. The thing is, right, as soon as you start talking about clean channel amps, you can almost get one of 100. You know, there's 100 great amps you could buy that just have great clean channels. And then if using pedals, they're all kind of similar at the end of the day. But the major difference is if you want any sort of onboard dirt. That's where the Blues Junior and the Tweetone are in a different league. You know, the PV Classic 30s are okay. I think the clean channel isn't as good as like the Fender sound. It's okay, but it's not amazing. And their drive channel isn't as good as the Artist amp. So, and they're more expensive. I don't think they're a bad amp, and I think if you're using pedals, it's much of a muchness. But yeah, the onboard dirt thing is better on some amps than others. And if you just want an amp where you can crank it up, stay tuned. I got a 12 watt amplifier on the way. It's Tweed as well, so hang in there. All right. Hey, Amanda's here. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining in. We've got John Boland here. It says, love your channel and excellent reviews from California. We got to visit Australia once for work. Had a blast. Oh, very cool, man. Where'd you go? We're in Melbourne down here. Me and Dr. Rick. All right, let's go up here. Korean and Australian made, both are amazing, but the custom shop stuff is ridiculously good for the cash. And that's regarding Ormsby guitars. Very cool. All right. probably just go for a few more minutes. I wanted to just keep this roughly at an hour for the unboxing. I'll timestamp everything up at the end. So if you've enjoyed the video or you're still watching, please leave a thumbs up. I appreciate that. Hey, I already said hi to Amanda. Thanks for dropping in. It's been so long since I did a live stream. Yeah, it's been a couple of months. But yeah, I'm for those who have just joined, I'll show you the last guitar I unboxed just before. Here it is. Check out this neck. Oh, man, I can't believe this. It's really impressive. So that's the Kiesel. There we go. And not only is this ridiculously light, I just have a feeling it's going to sound great. And the first one is back in the case, so yeah, back over there. So I'll be leaving that in there for now. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting stuck into these videos. So you're going to see a good mix of stuff before I move. There'll be a couple of amp videos. Obviously now a couple of guitar videos. I still have a few pedal videos I never released. There's 2 more pedals that I need to shoot probably in the next day or 2. So I'll give you a quick rundown of what's coming up. It's funny because Dr. Rick bought one of these, the Kernam Ridge, which I thought initially, A, looked way too complicated, but B, also I thought looked like plastic or a complex digital pedal. And then I realized I was completely wrong, which happens a lot. So yeah, I got one of these sent out. They actually emailed me a while ago and I sort of said, I'm not really into overly complex kind of effects. And then I found out I was wrong. So yeah, you're going to be seeing that coming up. And I've got a new pedal called the Taurus Servo 2, which is made in Poland, which I think might be the first Polish made effects pedal that I've ever reviewed. I could be wrong, but this looks like pretty much like a really great boost. So if you're looking for a boost, there's that. But yeah, I'm going to try and, I have to try and cram, what is it? I've got enough time. Yeah, so I'm pulling down the studio on the 27th of this month. So I have 12 days to finish up all the stuff I need to shoot before I move. And then you're going to see the studio most likely get put up in a similar kind of fashion, but I'm going to change the backdrop. The backdrop might be similar for the first couple of weeks until I get all the stuff I want sorted out, but I'm going to put up something that I think will look really cool. So a lot of people have asked me for a dB meter. There's also another thing I want to add to the backdrop that I've not been able to do here because I'm not supposed to be drilling anything into the wall. So there's going to be a few additions to the new studio, and I'll be able to sort of wire up everything the way that I want it, be able to go live very easily, and just have a setup that really works. So yeah, I don't know. There shouldn't be any downtime in the videos. At least that's the goal. Even if there's just 1 or 2 going up for the first week or 2 after I pack up and move and do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a crazy time doing all of that, but it is what it is. It's long overdue, and I'm looking forward to just having a setup I can forget about. You know, the studio's been great. It's just a little bedroom, but yeah, it's allowed me to keep doing what I do. So that's awesome. Gig bags. How good were these two? My Fender Acoustic Sonic gig bag is the only slightly better bag that I've seen. That's from Andy in Adelaide. Yeah, I tell you what, Andy, the gig bags are fantastic. Like the Kiesel one that I've had for a long time is arguably my favorite. The PRS SE Custom 24 one was my prior favorite to that, and they're obviously a different format of a gig bag. These have the sort of like hard corners or edges all the way around it. So whereas the other one's a conventional gig bag, for their price, the PRS gig bags are awesome. They're pretty inexpensive considering what you get. These are almost up there kind of quality-wise with, you know, I don't want to say they're like the Reunion Blues bags, but they're a different type of gig bag. They're almost like a semi-hard gig bag, just based on the hard foam around the edge. So yeah, they're both great. And the one for the Vol is fantastic. Like that's even better than the last ones, which were more conventional. So it's great to see they're doing that. And I think now that they're shipping from a centralized area, or from one of 2 places, I think, from memory, they're probably just making sure the guitars arrive safely, and the packaging was fantastic. So, all right, well, that's it. I think that's all. That's all we need to share. If anyone has any last questions or whatever, feel free to let us know. And thank you, Dennis and Mr. D. I appreciate that. Yeah, Amanda, it's been ages since I did a live stream. I've just been it's been a crazy time, like trying to find a place to move, and then that entire process, and also having other commitments. I was shooting videos outside of YouTube for other projects. And it's just been like a crazy couple of months. And every time I wanted to do it, I'd set up and I'd be like, too tired. So I went to bed early last night, got up early, thought, let's get into it. So yeah, I'm gonna try and do more of these coming up. I always say that, and it never happens. But yeah, I'd like to eventually go live every second week. I think that's more than enough, for everybody's sake. Hey, John, thanks, man. Wodonga North, thanks for joining in. Ruslan Bongo's in the new studio. And yeah, that's exactly right. Nah, there's a few things I've wanted to do with the setup for a while, and this place I just wasn't able to do it. I'm a bit of a I know this Rick and Ben are probably the only two people in the chat that have been into this room. But I usually have it so I walk in, all my cameras are set up. I can just turn everything on. Everything's exactly the same. I don't have to go ahead and switch things around. Anytime I do anything else in here, the setup gets ruined. I've got tripods all over the floor. I'm not going to wall mount a whole bunch of those to get them off the ground. I can cable everything along the floor. Just little things like that make the world of difference. And it makes the space feel better to be in rather than just having crap everywhere. So, for example, when I live stream, I'm going to get the image out of this camera into my little switcher. There's an additional cable step there, the HDMI cables and all that kind of stuff. I just want to have it all done. So I'd never have to like, oh yeah, I'm going to go get the camera, bring it in, do the stuff. It's just a nightmare logistically a lot of the time. So yeah, we should be good. All right, hey, we've got Zach Thong. Welcome, man. Hope you're doing well. It's been ages. Yeah, Dr. Rick was here before. He's broken his ankle and he's had some titanium surgery done for some thing I can never pronounce in his foot. Yeah, it's not good. And then he was hopping around on his other leg the other day. I was like, what are you doing, man? where are the crutches? Anyway, he's getting better. At least I know that much. It's not going to get worse now, which is great. So rest up, Dr. Rick. Is there anywhere in the English-speaking world where home prices aren't outrageous? Yeah, that's a good question, mate. I tell you what, it's crazy everywhere. I know Canada's arguably like got it way worse than Australia, and Australia is one of the most expensive places in the world. I think, yeah, it used to be relative to income, but I think it's not as relative to income anymore as it is in certain countries. So, yeah, it's insane. It just makes no sense. We got a question here. Two notes, torpedo, yes or no, anything better? So the Captor X is the way to go. Unless you need a rack-mounted unit, the Captor X is actually a better unit. It gives you stereo output. You also get, I think, 5 presets on the front. I've got one right here. I just love it because it allows you to get a blended signal between two mics, and you also get a little bit more flexibility on your recording at the end. You can sort of add noise gates. You can add a few other. I think you can do noise gates on the original one too. But this does have more functionality and it's a lot smaller. The only critique I have about it is the mic. It's got a micro USB connector instead of a USB-C. But yeah, I love this. The other way you could go is like the aux box, which I haven't tried yet. I'm going to try and get my hands on one of them coming up. The aux box allows you to do one thing differently to this, and that's you can turn if you run your signal back into your amplifier, you can turn the speaker down incrementally as much or as little as you like. Yeah. The advantage of the Captor X over the Torpedo Live is you get 3 return send volumes back to your speaker. So you get maximum volume, half, or basically like a 1 watt option. So yeah, that's they're basically the biggest differences there. But the Ox or the Captor X would be the way to go. Captor X is newer as well by like 6 years, so I would say buy the Captor X from Two Notes. It's great. Hey, thank you, man. Keith just put a super chat through. Says, what was the name of that wireless system you reviewed? So the recent one was the Artist. Let me have a look. So I've reviewed probably, I would say, if I had to guess, I would probably say like 8 or so wireless packs. It's called, I'll type it in for you. Actually, hang on. Let me just, I'll type it into the chat for you. Here we go. At Keith. Oh. There we go. I just put the name of the video into the chat. It's $69 from in Australia. It's the Artist WGS10. That was the most recent one. I have done quite a few over the years. I've done some things from UX and X5, but I wouldn't recommend the X5. I feel like it's a bit on the sort of cheap feeling side when you compare it up against some of these newer ones. So just sort of stay away from that one. It's probably good when it first came out, but mine wasn't very reliable when it came to just signal reliability. Yeah, Keith, thanks again, man. Thanks for being a channel member, and thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. All right, guys and gals, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for joining in. Stay tuned for the review videos. I'm going to be itching to get these done. Hey, Dylan, welcome, man. Hope you're doing great. Yeah, so hang in there for more reviews. I'm going to get the last of what I need to do done here before I'm out of here, and then the studio will change. And I might do a bit of a studio teardown video or something just to talk about, about the whole adventure thus far with YouTube. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all of your support, and more videos will be coming up pretty soon. Thank you.